Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody with an invisible condition to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you do have a voice, you have a community, and you are never alone. Today, I have James Cox on the show with us, and James is amazing. James has lived with cerebral palsy his whole life. He's lived with it his entire life. He hosts a podcast called When Words Fail, Music Speaks, which I love that title, where he explores how music can help with depression. As the son of an Air Force colonel, James grew up in a variety of places all over the place, man. Philippines, Southeast Asia, US, or Southeast areas of the US, all over the place, and enjoys gaining unique life experiences in those places, which is awesome because when you travel around, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Get those unique life experiences. I love that. His mission is to show that living with a disability does not define him. Love that too. For the past 7 years, James has been living independently, fulfilling his lifelong goal of thriving despite his disability. He is now based in Columbia, South Carolina, and balances a part-time job he loves with his podcasting passion. It's awesome. I can't wait for you to meet him. Let's bring him on and get this show on the road here. James, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, Jeff, how are you doing? This is going to be great. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I'm groovy today. This is good, man. So I'll tell you what, this is cool. I love that we're doing this.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for people to hear your story, man. So living with cerebral palsy from birth, which I don't know, is that just out of curiosity, totally random question just popped into my head. Is cerebral palsy is usually something you are born with that, right? That's not something that's
100%.
Yeah, okay.
You are 100% born with it. So
that's what I thought. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. So what happened was when I was born, I didn't get enough air in my lungs, or something happened, some kind of weird device, something went wrong.
Gotcha.
And that's how you get cerebral palsy, is you don't have enough air coming in your lungs when you are born.
Right.
So yeah, you can't get it after the fact. You only can get it when you're born.
Okay. So
that's very different from other disabilities, for sure.
It's true. Yeah, there's a lot of them that you can get anytime, and like the one I was born with. I was born with hydrocephalus, but you can get it anytime in life. So
right.
That's why I was just curious. Like if it's if it's caused by like a lack of oxygen to the lungs, or lack of oxygen to the brain, I thought maybe if that happened later in life, that could be a thing, but maybe not. So
right. From what I know, it is brain damage.
Yes.
Not so much like in process of thinking, as opposed to like physical connection with the body,
Gotcha.
Because it's hard for me to move my right hand. I have trouble with my right hand a lot. That's why I write with my left. Yeah. And then I walk with a slight gait, kind of weird kind of walk, but I don't think it's weird, but who cares,
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. I think other people are weird because they don't move like me. That's what I think is weird.
There you go. Well,
I mean,
sometimes you just got to own it, baby. Just own it, man. It's
because
you.
CP is all that I know. I don't know how to be one of the other people who can walk and jump and run. I can't do that.
Right?
Who cares?
No worries, man. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So dealing with both cerebral palsy and clinical depression, that's because that's where your podcast came from, right? Is because you had dealt with depression at times, and so you want to help others people with that. So
yes.
So how are these two conditions how are these two conditions intersecting in your life, and what has been like, what's that been like?
Okay, so with the cerebral palsy, I wasn't a normal kid. I didn't go out and bring that back. I was a normal kid. I just couldn't do what other kids could do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't go to the mall on my own, or I couldn't do anything. But there's most things that I can do, and I have great friends. I don't know if this answers the question, but when I was in my 24 or something, I'm almost 45 tomorrow for my birthday.
Tomorrow's your birthday? Get out of
Tomorrow's
here.
my birthday. Yes.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
This is perfect.
Yeah. But my mom, I was majorly a happy kid growing up, right? My mom started to realize some differences in my 20s and early 30s. And she's like, "Hey, man, we, to take you to the doctor and see what's going on, because my mom's side has a history of depression. Not so much my dad's side. My dad's too quiet because he is a colonel. He don't like talking about stuff.
Well,
so you know what that is, right? Yeah, but my mom took me to the doctor, and I was diagnosed clinically with clinical depression.
mhm.
A lot of people can't say that because they just found out of their mouth. But yeah. So
Okay.
I think I had my clinical depression because of my parents. Yes, my mom. Yes, but more so like I was feeling left out.
Yeah.
Most stuff life.
Sure.
Because if I wasn't born with cerebral palsy, I probably would have joined the military after my dad.
Maybe. Yeah.
So, but yeah, then that's what I wanted to do. But I heard they won't take people with disabilities. So for
I
whatever
mean,
reason,
to be fair, I've never been a candidate for the military either. They don't
Okay.
like people with they don't want to take people into the military that have had several brain surgeries in their past either.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can relate to that. Yeah. I've never
Yeah.
been in the military either.
No.
Yeah, I'm with
No.
you.
But I mean, for me, it's like, okay, well, I can do this. I can pull my trigger finger and, but I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but
there's a little more to the military than that. A little bit.
yeah. But I don't know if that answers the question. But yes, they
No, you're
don't
good.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I want to address the audience real quick. Just for those of you that are watching, if you relate to any of this, if you have somebody in your family that relates to this, if you have somebody in your family that's got CP, if you've got, if you've got somebody that's lived with depression, anything like that, if you watch James and listen to our conversation anytime during the show, you go, hey, yeah, that's me. That rings a bell. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, those are the easiest places to comment. Just go ahead and drop a comment in there and say, hey, I want to talk to James. I want to meet James and let's talk, and then we'll connect you guys. And so, and also what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a QR code up here, which will lead to, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, James, this will lead people directly to where where they can access your podcast. Is that correct?
Yes, it'll direct you to the website, whenwordfellmusicfees.com, and then you can view everything there. We have my podcast, YouTube videos, blogs, and specifically after what you just said, we have a crisis tab.
Ooh.
So if you at all feel whatever you're feeling, go to whenwordsfellmusicfees.com, go to the crisis tab, and there's a whole lot of great numbers for you to contact. I mean, we have the suicide hotline, the crisis hotline, something like the abuse hotline. So yeah, just go there or you can contact me. I mean,
I was going to say, there's a way to contact you through that website as well.
Yes, there is a contact page.
Perfect. So so there you go, everybody. If you want to contact James and ask any questions, or if you need help with anything, with just scan that QR code and find those crisis lines and do what you got to do, man, because we want you to stick around. So yeah, for sure. So just, I mean, I'm sure this question comes up a lot because you've done shows before. I know you've been out there doing stuff. You have your own podcast. I mean, you're used to this, man. So what are some of the misconceptions or prejudices or anything that you've come up with against with CP, man? Because there's got to be some misunderstanding out there about that.
Right.
What have you encountered and how do you deal with that?
To be fully 100% with you, I really haven't encountered a lot. I know that good. I don't want to say bullied because I really wasn't bullied in school, but I was probably made fun of behind my back, which is fine. I mean, I don't care. But yeah, I mean, every artist that I meet and everybody outside of my podcast just treats me with the utmost respect, which is great. Because I work at Outback Steakhouse. I've been working there for almost 5 years, and everybody there calls me sir. I love it, and
Yeah.
I don't mind if people call me sir. I like that, you know. Not
Yeah.
many people
Some,
do. So
some people don't like that. Some
no,
like, yeah, don't call me sir. I turn around and look for my dad, right? That's not,
right,
don't call me sir. But
right.
I don't mind it either myself,
No,
but I've never, that's never really been a thing in my
yeah,
household. So
yeah.
it kind of
To
sounds a
me,
little
it's
weird when they call me sir, but yeah.
to me it's old fashioned. To me, it reminds me of like you have a lot of respect for that person, because I call
There you go.
everybody sir and ma'am, and if they
Yeah.
don't want to be, sometimes that's what I've been calling ma'am anyway, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm so sorry, yeah,
Right,
and
yeah.
yeah, but
No, I
yeah,
totally get it.
yeah, but it's a matter of respect, and I feel
Yeah.
like this new generation doesn't have it, but I don't know, that could be me.
So actually, that's a good question. So when people come in contact with you, whether it's for your podcast or on a Zoom call to get to know you a little bit before the
Mhm.
podcast, or just going out about your business on a daily basis out there in the world, do you have what's your experience with like younger generation versus older generation? Is there a difference? Like, does one a better or different reaction than the other, or how's that go out there?
Uh, So if you're talking about little kids, I love little kids because they have no filter. They
Right.
always ask me what's wrong, and I'm glad to answer them. I'm totally glad to answer them. But the
Yeah.
older generation is kind of like more aware that I have it. Because I think
Sure.
they they live life longer. Than the new ones now. And they know what they look for. I
Okay.
haven't had any problems with the I guess the newer generation, if that's what you want to call it
Okay.
now.
I was just
So
curious. Yeah.
yeah,
Because traditionally, like, I think you'd agree with me that most of the old, like like the baby boomer generation, and like that is so we're both part of the Gen X, right?
yes, yes,
Generation, right? We're Gen Xers. But the one just a little older than us is the baby boomers, and I feel like the baby boomers are very, very respectful of that kind of stuff. They're not, it's the younger generation that are like, what's
no,
going on here?
right,
They
yeah, yeah,
misunderstand and don't have the knowledge, so
right, yeah,
anyway, that's
especially
what I was
now,
curious.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the older generation is kind of, well, sometimes they could be I don't want to cuss on your show.
No, please
Huh?
don't.
Oh, no, 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 no. We talked about this before.
I know we talked about
They
that.
can
That's right.
be mean, because they don't that's a good word, mean.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, some people call us or me, retard, and I'm like, oh, whoa,
Mm,
that's not, I don't like that,
that's not okay. Yeah.
No, no, but
Yeah. But that's a term that was used a lot in that generation, right? That was
yes,
acceptable,
right,
when they were little, so it's,
right,
yeah, so
yeah,
times
yeah.
change,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
but I don't
So
but I don't jump on them. I don't say,
yeah.
"Hey, man," just because I turn my back and karma would take over them, because karma comes to collect every time,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, no, I was just curious, man. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so also one other thing that in our conversation that you were talking about is you've experienced some pretty serious injuries, man. What did you tell me that you had a fall in 2017 that resulted in 3 skull fractures?
3
Three.
skull fractures, yes.
That's a
I
lot,
am
man. How did
Yeah.
that like that's gotta like how did that affect your approach to life? Like that's a big deal, man. Skull fractures are no joke.
Yeah, I would tell you that I'm better than a cat because I lived 10 times and they lived 9, So I don't like cats I'm definitely allergic to them, so I try to stay away from them,
Yeah,
so
I'm not a huge fan of cats
now
either. They can have their 9 lives. I'm
yeah,
not a fan.
cats are mean too. They're mean, brother. But yeah, in 2017,
Uh-huh.
I fell down 2 flights of steps
Ooh.
backwards
Oh,
because I was coming home from work one day,
oh
and I
no.
was, because we have upstairs and you turn the corner and go up.
Yep.
And I hate these. I hate anything that flies and things at the same time. I just don't understand how those little bumblebees can fly because technically they're not supposed to fly.
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
and what was circling around my body, and I'm like, oh my god! So I swatted them with my left hand, and that hand was holding on to the to the guardrail.
Oh
I
no.
went straight back and
Oh.
down the stairs that way.
Oh.
So yeah, so next thing
Mm.
I woke up in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Turned to find out, yes, 3 skull fractures. but I think they're all healed now because it's been 7 years since that happened, you know.
Yeah.
But I do get headaches from time to time. But yeah, I mean, but okay. So after that, I didn't even really have much of a you know, life is good at this time. You know, I just
okay.
I don't know what I thought. You know, after I woke up in the hospital, I'm like, I'm alive. Cool. You know, that's all I could do. You know, because I didn't know what happened. You know, and then my mom was there and she told me that I fell down 2 things of stairs. So
yeah,
I don't think my attitude changed before then. I don't think it changed after. You know, I'm just the same old, you know, James, and yeah.
I love that, man, because you know sometimes with and this didn't really occur to me until I don't know, I talked to somebody a couple of months ago and they brought this up and it hadn't even occurred to me until then. But I mean, I've gone under for 7 brain surgeries in my 47 years. 7 brain surgeries, right? So to treat the condition I was born with, right? So 7 brain surgeries, starting at 2 weeks old, all the way up through 3 years ago, and I've had 4 of them in the last 10 years, right? So I think to myself, well, you know, it's just, you know, I have come out of surgery the same person I went under for surgery as, you know, and I never really thought anything of it. I just, you know, you go to sleep, you wake up, you carry on, right? And it wasn't up until a couple of months ago when somebody said brain surgery is a big deal, man. They could hit something in there and you could wake up a totally different person.
Right.
So when you said something reminded me of that, because I guess I should be a little more grateful, a little more thankful that I've come through as well as I have with those surgeries, because yeah, brain injuries are a big deal, and they can really mess you up and turn you into a different person sometimes. So I'm glad that didn't happen to you, and I'm glad that didn't happen to me, because I like us the way we are. So
yeah. I don't like to focus on bad stuff, you know, because when you wake up from the next time, if you wake up from in a hospital and not know what to do, you're like, oh my God, my life is over. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, man, it's the same thing. I'm the most relaxing, easygoing guy, and I think that a lot of people see that, you know. That's why I am where I am now. You know, it's because I'm so polite to people, you know.
I love it.
You know,
that goes a long way, man.
It does. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that, you know. So.
It goes a long way, and honestly, it creates less stress in your life and in your body too when you're just chill and don't worry about it and just carry on, man.
Yeah.
Think whatever you want to think, people. You know.
Yes, that's so. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So right on, man. Well, hey, James, this is awesome. I'm so enjoying our conversation. We need to go take a commercial break real quick. Cool. So I'm gonna go do that. So everybody, seriously, stick around. I know you love James and you want to see. We want to talk more, but we got to go to commercial. I will. When we come back, though, we're going to be talking about his amazing podcast and all the amazing ways that he is thriving in life now. And so stick around. Do not go anywhere. And we'll see you in just a couple of minutes.
In a world where office workers typically receive 130 daily emails and have an 8-second attention span, CoreCentrica, with her 4 decades of international marketing experience, has partnered with the Learning Code Institute and their 30 years of neuroscientific research. Together, we are crafting unique messaging strategies that resonate, connect, and ultimately convert our target audiences. CoreCentrica, where award-winning creativity and disruptive neuroscience come together. Scan this code now, or call and click, and let us show you how CoreCentrica's partnership with the Learning Code Institute is influencing how businesses connect with their audience, foster engagement, and achieve conversions.
Hey there. You know, every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
Hi everyone, I'm Andy.
And I'm Minna.
We're the hosts of Chronically Healthy Life.
Join us Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time on Vitality TV to see how we flip the idea of chronic on its head and create chronic health in our bodies, minds, finances, and relationships right here on E360 TV.
Hey, everybody, before we bring James back to tell more of his amazing story and talk about his podcast, I want to talk to you about Invisible Condition University. So Invisible Condition University, or ICU for short, was something that I swear, I wish we would have had this about 10 years ago. I've had, in the last 10 years, since 2013, the last 12 years, I guess, it's 2025 now, I have had 6 surgeries, 4 brain surgeries and 2 others. Related to those. And, the hospital is amazing. They did a wonderful job. I'm so thankful for all that medical staff and everybody that helped me there. But once you leave that hospital, that all goes away and you don't have access to that help anymore. And so that's why my wife, Catherine, and I created ICU. We wanted to provide a place for other people like us, maybe like you, to have a community. Find a community that listens, that cares, that walks with you through whatever you're going through with your surgery, with your condition, all the things. We meet on Zoom a couple times a month for about an hour to provide a safe place for patients and their caregivers. I'm the patient. My wife is my caregiver. So we are both on the call to answer questions so when you come on the call, ask questions, vent frustrations, find information maybe that you from us or from others on the call that maybe you did not get from your medical provider. I don't know, just a hunch. They don't always tell you every single thing sometimes. So if you would like to learn more or would like to receive a free 30-day membership, just scan the QR code, go to myfreegiftfromjeff.com, and I will see you on the next call, which is coming up on, what day is it today? I'm not 100% sure what day the next one is. It's, let's see. Well, there you go. It's the first and third Tuesday of every month. So wherever we land here, I'm sorry. I don't know why I drew a blank there, but hey, first and third Tuesday, and we'll see you on the next call. So, all right, everybody, let's bring James back and continue with the story. James,
Hey,
right, here we are. There he is. So we got a pretty good idea of your story and kind of a little bit about what you've gone through, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And you kind of just threw in at the end there that you fell down a couple flight of stairs and fractured your skull 3 times.
Yeah,
that's kind of a big deal.
If it can happen, it'll only happen to me because I know nobody else that can do that.
I sometimes I've had that feeling over the years too. It's like, you got to be kidding me, right?
You're right. Yeah.
But hey,
this was my life. But hey, man, it is what it is.
We're still here, man. It's all
we
good.
are. Yeah.
So we're still kicking and we're still plugging ahead. So that's the important part.
Yeah.
So I know that music is a big deal in your life too. So your podcast is pretty evident of that. I mean, the podcast's name is literally When Words Fail, Music Speaks, so it's clearly music is a big deal. What role did music play in helping you cope with depression? I mean, that had to have been, is that part of the reason you created it, is because it helped you so much?
Music has been in my life all my life. I would say because my mom and dad raised us. I got a sister, and she raised us. They raised us. Like there's two of them.
Yeah.
On country music, and that's my first love, country music, and then rock and roll,
Love
and
it.
metal,
Love it.
and then all the other genres. Um, so when now there's been times where I thought about suicide, and I'm very open about that. Okay,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
because I didn't like my life. I guess I don't know really why, because I guess during my 20s and 30s, I always lived with my mom and dad. Okay, I always wanted to get out of the house. My mom wasn't too a big fan of that, right? Of
Sure.
course, because I'm her son, right? My
Yeah.
dad, still, I still don't know what my dad thought, because then again, once again, his colonel that doesn't talk about nothing,
Right.
You gotta really get it out
They
of
can
him.
be a little quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, you really got to pry it out of him. My mom still has some trouble with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really wanted to get that house, and I'm like, and there were some times when my mom and me and my parents clashed, and I guess that's
Sure.
for everybody. So yeah, so I just had to get out of there at the time, Now I want to go back because that's my parents, like that. So,
Right.
and they're both here, which is great, because I love them, to
Yeah.
this day, and I'm glad I have them still. But yes, that is what I thought I wanted, and that's the way yeah, because
And so
yes, back to music.
no,
Music,
yeah.
music saved my life, because when I thought about suicide from time to time, I always reverted to music,
Yep.
because I'm like, what if they make a good album, a better album than this? I'm not gonna hear it if I'm dead,
Right. True. Yeah.
right? Yeah. And yeah, so and no matter where you look, you can always find music,
Yep.
in the trees, cars, hawk, there's always something
Yeah.
better in your life to make it more to live for, if I'm saying that
man.
right,
I love that.
So yes, but music did have a prominent area in my life, and I don't think, I think that everybody should like music,
I mean, I think everybody does like music in one way or another. Like even if it's something like that, for me, music is a really cool reminder of events in the past, right? Like
Yes.
you'll hear a song, even if it's just playing as background music in a supermarket or something.
Yeah.
You'll hear a song, and you're like, oh man, I remember that, and it flashes you back to that time, right? Or when you were a kid, or when you were riding with your grandpa in his truck, or whatever, and it. And I love that country music is your thing, man. Because
country music is my first love. Yeah,
I am such a fan, man. Are you? I got to ask, because this is a very polarizing topic here, I think, in the country. Like, are you old country, or are you new country? What do you like? What's your favorite?
That's a great question. I've never been asked that before.
When I say old country, I'm
you talk about like
Willie and Waylon and Marty Robbins and all the old school country, or do you like the new stuff with the Brad Paisley and the Toby Keith and the all that stuff?
Okay, so great question. I will give you two answers for that one question.
Okay.
I like them both. Okay,
all right.
I love the old school, the Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, because they told stories within music, and now you don't have that anymore, especially with rap and pop music.
Man.
So
who's still really good at it though in the country world, in my humble opinion? I think there's two guys that I still love listening to that are kind of modern, that still remind me of that old country, and that's Kenny Chesney and Brad Paisley. Those are Brad Paisley especially. He's one of the best storytellers in all of country music, man.
It looks exactly like my Uncle Greg.
Stop it! Oh,
exactly,
that's cool.
like him. Yeah.
Can your Uncle Greg sing though?
No. Nobody in the Cox family can sing. I can't sing. I try to sing. I sing in the shower. That's where it's gonna live and die at.
There you go. I didn't hear it sing.
Yeah. But
nice.
But the new country now, I guess from 2000 till now.
Yeah.
Has good tunes, and it's more catchy with the melodic stuff.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes.
they're not you're right, but they're not the old school. I love the old school
No.
more. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of an old school
But I
guy
do like both
myself.
of them. Yeah,
And I do too. Just
yeah,
not. Yeah. Anyway, I was just curious. You never know.
yeah, yeah.
So speaking of music, you actually interview musicians from all genres on your podcast, When Words Fail, Music Speaks, right? So how has connecting with all these amazing artists from all these different genres of music impacted you? Like that's got to be cool.
Yeah, yeah. So we've been doing this podcast for 4 years,
Nice.
and I started out interviewing my best friend from high school. Only because, and that's good. So if you wanted to become a interviewer or a podcast host, whatever, interview your friends first.
Nice. Yeah.
Because you feel more relaxed. You got stuff in common you can reach out for. And plus my high school friend Phil, he's a musician. Also in the Air
cool.
Force. Yeah, so he's a military guy now.
Nice.
Well, yeah, but I forgot what your question was. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's all right. That just reminded me of somebody that I need to introduce you to, which we'll talk about that after the show. But that just totally reminded me of somebody, man. You're gonna love this guy. So cool. So one of the things that you've said that like when we're talking or in your bio, that your disability doesn't define who you are. So how did you because it can, especially something you're born with, right? So how did that mindset come about? Like how did you develop that mindset, and what advice would you give to somebody that's struggling like they feel like it does define them? What would you tell them?
Well, when certain people look at you and they're like, he can't do this, he can't do that, right? I want to prove them wrong automatically. Even when my mom says he can't do this, can't do that, I want to prove her wrong.
Nice.
Because she says, well, hey, if you were to move out of my house, you gotta go out and see what you can do. And I did it. It took me a year and a half, but I got it done.
Nice.
So, but for anybody who is listening and is struggling with a disability that usually defines you, don't worry about it. Just do what you do. Be kind to everybody, because everybody's going through something different that we don't know about.
Yes.
And just be nice, because niceness takes you a lot further than if you were a butthead, I would say.
There you go.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because if you're nice, more doors will open for you. Because going to the interview, I reached out to a guy named Michael Stover, and he represents country artists.
Nice.
And he really liked my podcast, and I'm like, okay, well, do you have anybody I can interview? And he sent me like a slew of things, And then from there, I just found and researched and found other PRs, public relations, of people, and I just became real good friends with them, and so now, every day I'm getting emails wanting to come on my show. Back then, I started out with one or two, like a month, It really wasn't rampant as it is now, But man, you just gotta go with it, and don't listen to anybody because they don't know what you're dealing with, So
well, exactly. The thing I keep thinking about is like you've seen this before. Everybody's seen this before, right? Speaking of not knowing what's going on in somebody's life, right?
Yeah.
You're at the supermarket. You watch a car with handicap plates pull into that handicap spot, at the very front. And then somebody gets out of the car that looks perfectly fine. And They get up, they go in the store, they walk out with their groceries, they put them in the car and they drive away. And you go, that guy probably stole grandma's car with the handicap plates.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That's what people's thinking is.
Right.
But what you got to remember is maybe he's dealing with a condition that maybe he had to take an extra couple meds before he did that and take a nap just to be able to store up the strength to be able to get to the store, get his groceries and get home. And then after he gets home, he's going to pass out again for a couple hours because he's so exhausted. So
Exactly. Yeah.
that's the kind of behind the scenes stuff that people don't think about sometimes when you can't see what's going on with somebody. So that's a good reminder,
Yeah.
just
Cool.
be kind and have grace,
I
So,
also wonder that too, and you're right. There are people that you can't see the disability just like yours, But
yeah.
there are some people that will take advantage of the placard with the
Oh, of
handicap
course.
plate. I mean,
There's always people out there that are, yeah.
because I always, I don't want to say you could tell that they have a disability. I don't know.
I mean, right. Most of the time you can't.
You
Yeah.
can kind of think that they took they took it, from their mom and dad or whatever. And
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell who
Yeah.
has it, and who's playing it off like they have it. So
Right.
it's all weird.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, hey, man, you and I have something in common, man. You've traveled around a lot. I've traveled around quite a
Yes.
bit too. You've done it over a longer period of time. I condensed it into a year. I went
Okay.
all over the country and went over to 7 or 8 countries in Europe, and which I did it all in a year. But you've traveled to some places I've never been to, like the
Right.
Philippines and all kinds
Philippines,
of
yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
how has those experiences shaped you, man? Because that's a big deal. Once you go international and see what other things are going on in the other parts of the world, it really impacts you,
It
in a
does.
different way. So how did that impact you?
Well, my family and I moved to the Philippines when it was in 1986. I think I
Okay.
was 6, 7, and 8 years old. It could be
Uh-huh.
like 6 or 7, 2 or 3 years. We either moved every 4 years or every 6 years.
Yeah.
And being there opens your eyes to what the world is and how Americans view it.
Right.
Because it's very different from what we see.
Yes.
And the news will present itself as war and famine and all this, and it's really not.
Yeah.
I didn't see any kind of real deal struggling in the Philippines. But then again, that was in 1986, not now,
Well, it depends on if you go to if you go to like Manila or if you go to like one of the islands that have just
Yeah.
small towns and rural
Exactly.
and it depends on where you see too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
But when we were stationed there, we had a military house. We had to be
Yeah.
on base because my dad.
Right.
And every night I can remember a security guard carrying weapons, just walking around the house.
Yep.
Every day, all night. And
Yeah.
then he would leave in the morning, and we would do whatever we had to do. 5
Right.
o'clock, 6 o'clock, he would come around and, hey, Mr. Cox, how are you doing? Because I think they had some kind of contract with them with
Sure.
the military base. But yeah, I mean, it was good from what I saw, But then again, I was so little, I don't remember everything,
Yeah.
But from what I saw, the majority was like there was no problems at all, from
That's so
my
cool.
point of view. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and it impacts you even if you're little when you're there. I mean, just seeing that you don't even consciously maybe it's not even conscious that you realize it, but when you
Right.
When you get older, you still somewhere in your brain it still remembers all that, and it affects you.
It
So
does. Yeah.
it is really cool when people can travel to other countries, and get that different perspective. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I just lived in the Philippines and in the United States.
That's all right.
Primarily Florida and Virginia, and we toured them to like religiously, But
No, that's cool.
yeah, Florida and Virginia and Philippines it's like what I know.
There's some people that don't get out of their hometown their whole life, so that's pretty good.
And that's pretty sad because
You're doing great, man. So
I think everybody needs to visit at least one country before they die.
Oh, man.
Just get out and see what life is about.
100%.
Because the media is all broken, I think, and it doesn't supply you with the right new.
Not always, no.
Because I've heard Italy, Japan.
Okay. Well, we're going to go to a commercial break because I was really going to do that anyway. So we're going to thank you, James. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened with your video, but we're going to go to a commercial break while we figure it out. So I will see you guys on the other side of the break. Take that QR code down. Don't worry. It'll be back in a second. So we will see you on the other side of the break after these messages. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Jake, co-founder and CEO of One Hope. My friends and I started this company in 2007 out of the back of this truck on a mission to enrich people's lives through wine. Today, we've grown into a state-of-the-art Napa Valley winery that proudly houses a portfolio of award-winning wines which have touched lives through over 40,000 nonprofits at home and around the globe. And it's happening every day. Being rooted in local communities and contributing to initiatives that uplift neighborhoods, celebrate cultures, and promote community. It's what got us here. You see, through every bottle sold, your purchase can make a direct impact on the causes you care about. One Hope's cause of choice has given back over $10 million and counting.
Tired of losing cell service in dead zones? Concerned about connectivity in emergencies? There is now an answer. Introducing the Love Pod. The world's first affordable encrypted global internet Wi-Fi hotspot connects with multiple service carrier networks and is satellite assisted when no service carrier networks are available. So it works virtually anytime, anywhere. Connect up to 9 devices, like our cell phone, laptop, desktop, TV, security cam, and more. Stream, chat, text, download, and make phone calls, all with no roaming fees. With mesh capability, the Love Pods will grow in strength and speed with each new pod activated to create a private terrestrial-based intranet called Love Global Network. The Love Pods are dual blockchain encrypted with Love's proprietary 2048-bit cube chain encryption, giving you the ultimate protection in data privacy and security against digital attacks and hacks to your devices. You are no longer tracked, and your data is never sold. Get the Love Pod, your private, encrypted, portable global internet Wi-Fi hotspot, and stay safe and stay connected.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Greg Russell. I'm the host of TechnologyTuesday.com. You can find us on the Conscious Business TV network every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the latest resources to help you make more money in your business. Join us on E360 TV. Come on.
All right.
Hey, we're back. Yeah.
We're back.
I was going to ask you, do you have,
What's up?
So you said that this is a rare occurrence where nothing seems to work today, right? For you and for me.
Okay.
Have you had any other problems with the I guess like your studio equipment won't work?
With what happened with your video that just then?
Yeah.
No. You know what? What just happened there where you disappeared and your name stayed there?
Yeah.
I've actually never seen that before. So
That
that
was
was
weird.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. That happened once before we went on the air, and then it
Yeah.
happened once just now. So I don't know what happened, but I don't know.
Because there's been a few times on my podcast where this
Maybe it's on your side, maybe it's with StreamYard. I have no idea. But that's okay. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's all good.
We're here, so it's all good. I'm going to put your QR code back up here so people can get back in touch with you. Yes,
Yeah.
please, everybody. And by the way, I'm just going to say this again. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, but I want to make sure I say it again. If as you've been watching the show, if you're just coming on, like if you know anybody that would relate to what James and I are talking about today, if you know anybody that's dealt with depression, or you know anybody with cerebral palsy, and you want to ask James questions, or you have something that you want to know or whatever, go to that website, man. There's some amazing resources. There's a place for you to reach out to James and contact him directly. And we're also, if you're seeing this on Facebook or YouTube, drop a comment in there and say, James, I want to talk to you about this.
I'm like, yes, okay.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah,
yes. And we'll get them in touch with you. So I'm going to leave that QR code up there through the rest of the show. And let's just keep on rolling here. So what was I going to? Oh, right. That's what I was going to ask you. See, memory's only the second thing to go.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I have a question that I like to ask everybody that comes on the show because hope is a big deal for me. Hope is a big deal in my life, because if you don't have hope, you're almost dead in the water already, right? So you gotta have hope in your life. And so what I want to ask you is, on those hard days, over your lifetime and recently too, man, the hard days don't go away just because you're older or just because of whatever. So on those harder days, how do you maintain hope?
Honestly, music. For me, music is everything in my life, then and now. And the thing with hope is it'll get better, because I've talked to Tim McGeary. He's a country artist. Everybody should listen to his music. He's everywhere, he explored the world like once or twice over in his lifetime, and he told me that there are more good people than there are bad people.
Yep.
So the only reason why you think that there's more bad people is because of the news.
Right.
I don't have cable, so I'm news free. And I tend to think very logically.
Yep.
I'm like, is he really doing this? No, he's not. Okay, well, I'm not. No.
Right.
But hope is one thing that everybody else has, I think, in your life.
Yeah.
And so I just turn to music when I'm feeling hopeless, But then I'm hopeful when I listen to my favorite music,
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great answer, man. I love it. I always get a different answer, and I always love the answer I get.
Oh, nice.
So that's perfect. Hey, by the way, I've never paid for cable in my life either. I don't
there
like
you go.
cable either. I'm
right,
like, I'll do like the Netflix and the Prime and the whatever, but I'm not. I don't need to. There's enough negative crap out there. I don't need to be, funneling it into my brain through the TV. So I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
It's cable and don't worry about it. So,
I have Pluto TV, and I love watching.
There you go. See, exactly.
So they're just reruns.
Yes,
really
exactly.
like TV, so yeah, it's all
Totally.
Good. Yeah.
Well, and then there's networks like E360 TV where we are. You can go on and watch some cool stuff there too. There's a whole bunch of cool shows on our channel. So
yes,
and it's free. That's the other cool part. It's free.
That's it.
So that's the best part. So what we got about, I don't know, we got about 4 or 5 minutes left here, man. Do you is there any like cool stuff? Like, give me your favorite podcast guest with your favorite your favorite episode that you've done so far with your favorite guest. What was that like?
Favorite episode was there's too many to list, but I'll do one.
Well, give me
All right. Have you heard of the rock band Demon Hunter?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever heard their music, but I've heard the name though.
Okay, yeah. So Demon Hunter is a Christian metal band, which is very rare to say together, because I know
that does sound a little strange, but I understand.
Yeah, but they're so great. I met them way before I interviewed Yogi Watts, which is the drummer, and he was just a sweetheart of a guy. We had a great time talking. So I told him how much his music meant to me, because he's a fairly new drummer, because they switched drummers before.
Yeah,
and Yogi's been one of the mainstays there.
Nice.
So it's always good seeing him, talking to him. I've interviewed Scott Page from Pink Floyd.
Ooh, that's cool.
He was a saxophonist. Yeah, so he was a really amazing, And just there's so many other great interviews that I could talk to you about for like an hour or two, but I know it worked. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh man. Pink Floyd, that's cool.
Pink Floyd,
speaking of drummers, there's 2 drummers that I've always wanted to meet.
Yeah.
well, 2 or 3 maybe. The one-armed guy, the one-armed drummer from Def Leppard.
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
love to meet that guy,
Yeah.
and then I would love to meet the drummer from of course have you ever seen the movie God's Not Dead? What was the band that was in there that at the
God's
end
Not
it was
Dead.
this is killing me.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about though.
Yeah.
And then I think you know, the guy from Metallica, the drummer from Metallica, seems
Lars.
really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, Lars, man. I would love to meet that guy. So there's maybe a couple you should shoot for, man. Let's get Lars Ulrich on your show.
Yeah, that's a bucket list of mine. More
awesome.
James, the lead singer, than the Lars, you know, because James, you know.
Yeah,
I've really been a big fan of Bush, but Lars was amazing. Yeah.
That would be so cool.
But
oh man, right on. Well, with about a minute to go, what is there any last thing that you wanna tell our audience to send them off from our episode?
Yes, always believe in yourself. Don't pay attention to everybody else, because what everybody else thinks they might not know about you, and just live the way that you want to live life. If you know if that's your calling, you know. Not sure if I'm saying that right, but just relax. You know, life is good. Life is good. You know, nobody's out to get you. You know, nobody's gonna end up, you know, doing anything bad for you. You know, don't listen to. Be aware that the news is 95% false. I guess, you know, 5% of it is real.
That's about right.
Just like logically, you know.
Yeah.
And if you ever see me down the road or anywhere, you can always stop me and ask, hey, you know, what's your condition? I love to talk to people about that, because I don't know why so many people are like turned off about asking other people, you know.
I agree.
If you could always learn about stuff, why would you not want to learn? You know, it doesn't make sense, you know. So,
right. Yeah. I love it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, James.
Problem.
Thank you for being here, man. Stick around. Don't jet when you come off the screen.
Okay.
Just stick around. I want to talk to you after the show. But
sure.
But thank you so much for being here and for telling your story, man. This has been a blast. I'm loving it, and I'm so thankful for you. So thank you for being here.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna leave that QR code just for a second. Okay, now it's gone. All right. So thank you, man. This was cool. Man, James is cool. I love talking to that guy. I tell you what, if this is your first episode, and this is your first time spending time with us, thank you for being here. So appreciate you being here. And if this is your 100th episode or 150th episode, you've been here since the beginning. Thank you. We love you too. And we appreciate every single one of you that are watching every day, every time we're on the air. And so I would ask you, you know, everybody knows about social media, right? Like and follow and subscribe and share, you know, so that you can share your favorite episode with others and give them some hope as well, because that's what we're about around here, is stories of hope. So join us next show, which will be Tuesday, January 21st at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And look forward to seeing you then. Until that time, have an amazing day, and we'll see you soon.